A day in the life of a project engineer. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about, I'll be clear about this, what a day in the life of a project engineer should look like and not what it sometimes typically does. If you are looking for an awesome career that will lead you to project manager and beyond, this is an awesome video because I'm going to give you a pattern that ties into an overall system that's really going to shape a day in the life of a project engineer. So stay with us. Okay, I'm super stoked about this. Let's talk about the pattern here. So first and foremost, most project engineers think, okay, my job is I do RFIs, I do submittals, I do pay applications, I do change orders, right? This is my job. I would say that is wrong. I don't agree with that. I believe that a project engineer follows the trade partner preparation process. We call it the TP3. First, the buyout of a trade. Second, the pre-mobilization, the preparatory meeting or the pre-construction meeting, the first in place inspection, the follow-up inspection, and the final inspection. So like places like at Hensel Phelps, they call this the 6-step process. And what I mean by that, here's the pattern. There's 3 main phases to this: plan, build, finish. A project engineer does not do tools. A project engineer helps a trade partner come through these steps to plan their work, build their work, and finish their work. And the RFIs, submittals, pay-ops, change orders are just tools to get that done. There's meetings in there, there's agendas, there's sketches, there's field walks, there's all kinds of things that go into this overall system. And so my overall focus for a project engineer is to follow that trade partner preparation process. So let's go ahead and talk about a day in the life. So if you're a project engineer, you're back here at your home. This is exactly what a home looks like. The project engineer, hopefully you get up and you do morning routine. Why do I mention the morning routine? Because most people forget about it, right? Project engineers sometimes, unless the culture is different, will get in 7, 8 o'clock while the field engineers are getting in at 5 or 6, right? But your morning routine has got to have your typical items, plus what I always teach in boot camps, that's box breathing. Okay, basically start your day in a remarkable way. On your way to work, I highly recommend, especially for the project engineer level, to listen to something that is impactful to you, right? I would recommend anything by Patrick Lencioni. On the way, a good habit that I've heard of before is that construction professionals will listen to something work-related on the way to work, and then on the way home, something like music or a book or fiction or something like that. But the world will pay you in direct proportion to what you're learning on a constant basis. So try to read a book a week. How to Win Friends and Influence People, Never Split the Difference, Patrick Lencioni. I could keep giving you books, and actually we have that on the project manager board, which we'll link you to in this video, but get some education on the way. Once you get to the site, let's assume that you're getting in at 7 a.m. Super fine. What happens on the normal calendar here is that you'll have your team meeting on a Monday, your strategic planning and procurement meeting. Then on Tuesday, you have your trade partner weekly tactical. And on all the rest of the days on a cadence, every afternoon, you have the afternoon foreman huddle. And the foreman huddle is there to educate the workers in the worker huddle so they can do their crew preparation. And then you have your team huddle. The 2 things that I want to make sure are happening with the project engineer is I want you at the team huddle, which happens at like 8 or 9 every day. And I want you in the afternoon foreman huddle. Now that meeting system, every time you hear me explain it, is intentionally designed because I don't want foreman huddles happening without the project engineer, because the project engineers are feeding that trade partner with information, resources, anything that they need, right? So when the project engineer and the PM come to the site, they're going to do what's called the daily team huddle. That's where you stand up and you make sure on your scrum board that everything is tracking properly to get work done in the field. And if you're in that huddle, then you can make sure that you and the team are prioritizing tasks and that you're enabling the field, because guess what? the superintendent and the field engineers took the feedback from the trades the afternoon before and from the workers the morning of and brought those to that morning huddle, and it will educate the overall task for the entire team. Then you go through and do your work, and guess what? You're able to be with the foreman and the superintendent and the field engineers in the afternoon to plan the next day, to continually feed items and to talk about office-related tasks. When you get to the project site, what I'm essentially saying is that you'll get to the site and immediately you'll time block your day, okay? You don't want to start the day until it's finished on paper. Then what you'll do is you'll go to the team huddle, so the daily team huddle, and what you'll do is you'll report out on your tasks and your time block for the day. And if there are things that need to be switched around, you'll find out in that huddle. Then you're going to go ahead and jam out and do your work. Now, I have a lot to say about this. I love it when project engineers spend 80% of their time in the office, 20% out in the field. I love to see project engineers out in the field working on engineering answers, coordinating with trades, coordinating with foremen, doing a jam. Now, I want to explain something here that's quite crucial. There was a guy once that I knew that was like super introverted, which doesn't bother me, but always at his desk, never talking, never volunteering. And I was like, hey, homie, you've been a project engineer for 8 years. You might want to volunteer to run the OAC or to run the team meeting or to do these things. And he was like, he looked at me all smugly and he was like, Jason, I know my worth. I don't need to volunteer for anything. I'm just going to do my job and people will know exactly what I'm worth. And he's still a project engineer to this day. Like, absolutely. It just lights my butt on fire to like think about like the arrogance and the misguidedness of this philosophy. What the project engineer needs to do if they really want to do a jamming job is to be a team builder, start volunteering for things that the PM does, be out there learning, be vocal, and actually be integrated with the rest of the team. So during the day, you'll start working through the trade partner preparation process based on your own time blocking and the coordination of the team. Then you'll go to the afternoon foreman huddle to make sure that your efforts are enabling the work of the next day. Oh my gosh, that's so remarkable. And that afternoon foreman huddle happens at 1:30, whatever. If anything's needed for the trades, you handle it in the afternoon and you get some focus time, go home 4 or 5, finish out your task and jam out and get ready for the next day. I highly recommend you plan your work for the next day before you leave so that you can go home in a good mindset. And when you go home, I would invite you to do the box breathing again so that when you go in and you open that door for your husband or your wife or your partner or your dog or whatever, you're there ready to give 100%. Now, the last thing that I'll say before I finish this video is that a project engineer should be in the plans every day, 15 to 30 minutes. Every day should be in the trade partner preparation process tools, and every day should do a field walk. This is what turns a project engineer from a broker to a builder, is following these builder habits. And if you do that on a daily basis, you'll be jamming and ready to go. Make sure that PPE doesn't look too clean. Get out there in the field, develop rapport, volunteer, and you'll have an amazing career. I'm going to turn this into a blog post and a visual for you. I hope, real quick, we'll link you to personal organization planners that we made just for your position. I think you're going to love them. On we go.